In this video we're going to talk about how we get a good crop of tomatoes every year. As you can see here that all the tomato plants that I've grown, they were all from seed. I sowed them probably around about March time, April, and now we're in August. So there's two varieties there, Gardener's Delight, and we've got cherry tomatoes as well. So I'm going to show you some quick tips on how to get the best crop for a good harvest. Let's go. So here you can see there's a lot of good crop that I've had this year. There's loads growing. These are the cherry tomatoes. We've got plenty here. And this is the bigger one that are still green but growing. So what do? Well, the first thing to do is the tomato plants will keep growing. So in order to restrict the growth, you've got to cut off the tops. Now I've already done it here. You can see I've cut the top off. What that does is it will now focus all the energy into the tomatoes. So it will stop producing more and more fruit, but it will concentrate now to ripen these. What you got to remember is in August we're getting less and less daylight. Now for tomatoes to ripen, they need daylight, and the only way they're going to ripe as well is if the plant stops producing shoot. So one of the things we need to do is look out for any of these shoots that are coming out from the side. For example, this one here. So if you just pull that out, pull that out, pull that out, and now you're enabling the plant to focus all of its energy into the tomatoes. Another thing you can do is there's a lot of foliage on here which is getting in the way of the fruit. So if you can see behind there, we've got some tomatoes growing. So what you want to do is just cut away the foliage. Now you're not going to get any more fruit this time of year, so what you want to do is make sure that the fruit you do have ripens nicely for you. So cut away any leaves now. So it will do two things. It will allow sunlight to hit the tomatoes and ripen, and also it will allow air to circulate through the plants, so it will avoid things like any rot or anything, any diseases. Here at the bottom I just noticed that I've got a big shoot coming out from the side of the plant, and you can see it's trying to produce fruit, and it will continue producing fruit, but you're not going to get any harvest. So all you do is just take it out, cut it back, and that's gone. And just repeat the process wherever you see any foliage. Now just cut the foliage off, you don't need, and any foliage which is blocking any tomatoes, just cut that back as well, so it make sure that it does get full sunlight. You can see here. And don't be afraid, there's nothing to be scared about. Just cut that off. Now you can see that's exposed to the sun. You can see here a stem just coming out, and these are the flowers which will ultimately turn into tomatoes. But as I said, it's too late now to get any fruit, so just cut that off. Don't need it. Cut this off. Don't need it. Cut this off. Don't need it. What you're looking for is ultimately just leaving a bare stem. See, there's nothing on this one either, so we just cut that off, and here you're left with the fruits which will eventually ripen for you. And just work your way down the plant, cut that off. So now this is exposed, these are exposed. So it's as easy as that, guys. Just remember to cut away any foliage now in August, leave the fruit to ripen, make sure there's enough air circulating, make sure there's enough sunlight hitting your fruit, and you will be guaranteed to have a great crop this year. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of crop we have this year, and I hope you guys do too. You can see that I've literally taken about 90% of all the foliage off now, and all of the fruits have been exposed nicely. I can still see a few leaves here. Let's cut them off and cut them off, and that's it. This is now ready to ripe, so in about 2-3 weeks the tomatoes will be ready to eat, and this is what you want to look like. And you can put all your foliage in your compost bin. Once you're done pruning your tomato plants, they should look something like this. So you're only left with all the trusses.